Since the arrival of HIMARS systems, the shelling of Ukrainian territories has decreased by more than 10 times. What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. And let's go straight to the east of Ukraine, where I'm going to be talking about the most recent updates. First of all, there are several reports that Ukrainian forces were able to successfully destroy military warehouses of Russia in Luhansk. But as always, the response of the Ministry of Defense of Russia is that Ukrainians destroyed warehouses with fertilizers. And by the way, according to the advisor to the President of Ukraine, Alexei Arestovich, the reason why Ukrainians were able to do these attacks, it is because of high mobility artillery rocket systems, HIMARS. Another big explosion was recorded in Kramatorsk. The mayor of the city, Alexander Goncharenko, confirmed that there were 2 artillery strikes, and fortunately there were no casualties. And as always, the main goal of Russia in this region will be the capturing the city of Slavyansk. Russians tried to advance next to cities of Dolhinka and Dolina, but Ukrainians were able to resist these attacks. Most recent reports also claim right now that instead of launching more attacks, Russians decided to fortify their positions and reinforce next to the city of Izium. What it looks like is that instead of sending small and separate groups, Russia right now is assembling men so that they can launch one big attack in the nearest future. And yet another major city in this region is Bakhmut, where Russians at this very moment are still shelling this city. And speaking about the same region, Ukrainian army was able to resist attacks of Russians in the region of Veselaya Dolina and Yakovlenka. And by the way, this information just came right now, because according to the representatives of Luhansk region, the army of Russia was able to enter the city of Seversk. So once again, this information was just released, and the trustworthiness of the sources is pretty questionable. That is why this information is not yet confirmed. Alright, and right now let's go a little bit to the south of this region, and while I'm doing this, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you like this format of daily updating. First of all, the army of Ukraine was able to liberate a small part of Novobakhmutovka. Then we have several reports about artillery strikes against Zaporozhye. And as a result of these bombings, it has been reported that there are 7 people who are injured. So you probably already know that Ukrainian army is drastically more successful in the south. That is why the only thing left for Russians to do is to bomb this territory. Specifically, it has been reported that several missiles were launched from Novokakhovka in the direction of Mykolaiv region. And speaking about success of Ukraine in the south, yes, it has already been confirmed that those HIMARS systems that Ukraine received from the west are already being actively and effectively used. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is that Ukrainians were able to destroy several military warehouses of Russians across the entire territory of Ukraine, specifically in the south, and because of this, the number of shellings that Russians are doing across Ukraine significantly decreased. And so right now, Russia realizes that Ukraine is getting more and more powerful every single day. That is why, besides shelling, there is literally only one more thing that Russia can do. And before I tell you exactly what is this, please consider joining my Discord server, where you can talk with me personally about practically anything you want. Also, we as a community donate money to Ukraine every single month, and if you want to be a part of this group donation, feel free to check my Patreon. All the links will be down in the description. So okay, Russia realizes that time is on Ukraine's side. And in response to that, Russia wants to accelerate these referendums in these occupied regions about separating from Ukraine. And the regions I'm talking about here are Luhansk, Donetsk, and for example Kherson. And as you already know, some of them already announced their independence, but the rest are in the process of doing the same. And so as of today, we probably have the exact date when these regions will do the referendums. And these referendums most likely set to happen on September 11th. Welcome to another episode of Ridiculous Russian Propaganda. And today we have North Korea recognizing the independence of Luhansk and Donetsk. And I mean, just yesterday these regions were kinda begging North Korea to recognize their independence, but it did not make Ridiculous Russian Propaganda segment. Because today it happened unexpectedly fast, and literally this is ridiculous. And so now, besides Russia being one of the allies of Luhansk and Donetsk, this list also includes Syria and North Korea. As soon as this news came public, Ukraine obviously tied its diplomatic relations with North Korea. And to be honest, I didn't even know they had diplomatic relations. But I guess this does not matter to Luhansk and Donetsk, because among their friends there are two nuclear superstates. Okay, so if you remember, in the past there were these anti-Russian sanctions which were targeting Kaliningrad region, which is located literally in the middle of Europe. And what basically happened is that Lithuania made a statement that it will not allow transporting goods through its territory. And as of today, the European Commission has settled this problem with Russia. What it basically means is that the Euro Commission will allow goods of the first necessity to be delivered to Kaliningrad region. However, what is still not yet allowed to be transported to Kaliningrad are military goods and those goods which are still sanctioned. And even though Euro Commission was able to come to an agreement with Russia, they still need to talk with the country of Lithuania. Here is your very quick update about the status of death penalties in Donetsk Republic. So if you remember, a couple of months ago, Donetsk acknowledged that they were able to capture 2 soldiers from the United Kingdom and 1 Moroccan soldier who was fighting on the side of Ukraine. And according to local laws of Donetsk Republic, these people are considered to be terrorists and they need to be killed. And just yesterday, Donetsk Republic removed the ban for death penalties. And already today, the head of this region, Denis Pushilin, acknowledged that they even prepared this so-called death chamber. The method of killing of these people will be through shooting, and according to Denis Pushilin, the time of the death sentence has not been announced yet. And even though if and when this happens, this whole thing will not be public. If you made it this far into the video, you are a true hero, so please consider becoming my channel member. Thank you so much for your attention, check the links in the description, stay safe, and see you tomorrow.